You know, there's this one huge question that we all ask ourselves at some point. It's the kind of thing that keeps you up at night, right? Well, today we're going to tackle it, but through the eyes of a really brilliant psychologist, Alfred Adler, who actually believed he'd found the answer. So yeah, why are we here? What's the whole point? And this isn't just some philosophical game. According to Adler, the answer you have to this question, whether you even realize you have one, is shaping every single thing you do. Every choice, every relationship, everything. And this is where it gets really interesting. Adler's big idea wasn't that we have to find some secret purpose hidden inside us. No, he said the meaning of life comes from actively overcoming one specific feeling that every single one of us shares. To really get what he meant, Adler kind of simplified everything. He said that all the messy, complicated problems we face in life can actually be boiled down to just three main questions. Every challenge you'll ever have is just a version of one of these three. That's it. Just three. Not a million, not even a dozen. Just three things that tie us to the world and to each other. So what are they? Okay, so first up is work. Now, this isn't just about your 9-to-5 job. It's bigger. It's about how do I find a useful way to contribute to the world? Second, there's friendship. We're social creatures, we can't survive alone, so how do we learn to get along and cooperate? And finally, number 3, love. How do we handle that most intense, intimate connection with another person? Adler believed that the way we try to answer these 3 questions reveals the meaning we've given our life. But where do our answers even come from? Why do some people answer them so differently than others? Well, Adler was totally convinced that the personal compass we use to navigate these big life questions is built way, way back in our earliest childhood years. He had a special term for this, our lifestyle. And listen, this has nothing to do with clothes or cars. Your lifestyle is your personal blueprint for how you see the world, your deep down beliefs about yourself and everyone else. And here's the kicker. Adler was certain this whole blueprint is basically set in stone by the time you're just 4 or 5 years old. Now, while everybody develops a lifestyle, Adler pointed to 3 really common situations in childhood that can seriously mess up our internal compass and point us toward a mistaken meaning of life. First, you've got the spoiled child. This is the kid who's taught that all they have to do is want something, and poof, it appears. They learn how to get, but they never learn how to give. So when they grow up and face the real world, they just don't have the tools to cooperate. They see other people as obstacles. Then there's the complete opposite, the neglected child. If you've never really been shown love or seen what real cooperation looks like, how are you supposed to know how to do it? For them, the world feels like a cold, hostile place. Trusting anyone feels impossible, which makes answering those questions about friendship and love incredibly difficult. And the third situation involves children with physical challenges. The sheer weight of their own struggles can sometimes cause them to turn completely inward, to only focus on their own pain. That is, unless someone special is there to guide them, to help them look outside of themselves and connect with others. Okay, so if our childhood can set us on the wrong path, how in the world do we find the right one? Well, this gets us to the absolute heart of Adler's whole theory. The 2 very different ways we can choose to deal with that universal feeling of inferiority we talked about earlier. And first, this is so important, let's get this straight. Feeling inferior is not a bad thing. In fact, Adler thought it was completely normal. He saw it as the engine of all human progress. That feeling of not being enough is what pushes us to learn, to create, to build better things. Literally, all of human culture is built on this feeling. So the real question isn't if you feel inferior, because we all do. The question is, what's your goal when you try to overcome it? What are you striving for? And that choice, right there, is a massive fork in the road of life. And that choice leads us down one of 2 paths. On one hand, you've got the useful path. This is where your drive to be better actually helps everyone. It's all about cooperation, having the courage to face problems, and contributing to the common good. But then there's the useless path. And here, the goal isn't to contribute. It's all about personal dominance, about proving you're better than everyone else. This path only leads to fooling yourself and dodging life's real challenges. Adler had this great little story to explain this. Imagine 3 brothers at the zoo seeing a lion for the first time. The first one just runs away screaming, "I want to go home." He's just avoiding the problem. The second kid stands there, totally pale and shaking, but he says, "I'm not scared." He's just trying to fool himself and everyone else. And the third kid, he looks at the lion and asks, "Can I spit at it?" He's trying to dominate the threat. You see? They all feel inferior in that moment, but none of them are choosing the useful path of actually dealing with the situation in a brave, cooperative way. So, if trying to dominate people and running away from our problems are the wrong answers, then what's the right one? This brings us to Adler's really powerful and actually pretty simple conclusion about where we find real, lasting meaning in our lives. The whole answer boils down to two words: social interest. It's our built-in ability to see with another person's eyes, to hear with their ears, and to feel with their heart. For Adler, this wasn't just some nice, fluffy idea. It was the ultimate test of a person's mental health. How much social interest you have is the exact measure of how much true meaning you found in life. When you get right down to it, it's all about this one shift in perspective. People who are on that useless side of life are constantly asking, "What's in it for me? What am I going to get out of this?" But the people who found real meaning, they flip the question completely. They ask, "What can I give? How can I contribute?" I mean, just look around. Adler tells us to think about it. The roads we drive on, the science we use, the art we love, all of it. Everything we value from the past is what people gave to us. It's the result of their contribution. And what about the people who only ever tried to take for themselves? Well, they're gone, and they left absolutely nothing behind. And so that leaves us with the big question turned back on ourselves. It's not about what life means out there in the universe. It's about what meaning you are going to create with your own actions. When you face those three great challenges of work, friendship, and love, what are you going to give? What will your contribution be?